great chance of once again going higher and higher up this grid order as we now watch the car make its way through the latter sector. Needs to keep it pinned as he makes his way through the final sour grey, and very soon gulp sections as well. And after stepping in and making overtake after overtake yesterday, he returns here to qualifying to fight at the very top. Goes already usurping Leonov. How much of an improvement is this lap going to be? Across the line, it is an improvement. Purple in all three sectors and goes over 8.5 tenths, nearly 9 tenths clear of Evgeny Leonov, who remains in second place.
Bonnet was flapping a little bit there as it went over the bumps in the first corner. So I hope that's not going to be a problem towards the end of the session. But great lap in the end there, and Przybyłak reduces the deficit only slightly to 3/4 of a second, takes the AM class pole position provisionally as well in the 52 Q1 track racing car that he shares with Laurent van der Velde, the two Belgians racing in the Belgian run car. So that's second overall at the moment. Let's see what the number 80 here can do, Jorge Cabezas. This, of course, was a car that was running very highly in the order earlier, and goes second fastest. So second in Pro-Am, second overall, and puts himself on the front row of the grid. But still, it's over half a second away from Babini's provisional pole time.
Very, very good lap from Babini as well. Oh, another car around. Now, this is the R01 racing car, of course, that belonging to that of Camel Perrell and Florentin Sescu. And just getting the rear end round. And we'll now have to rejoin the action. A little moment heading through that section. It's the EST1 Porsche as well, and of course belonging to that Indra Yaska. Now makes his way down through towards Toraville. There's Zander Przybyłak as well, who's also on an improver. And this confirms the 3-position grid drop, overtaking under red flags for car 45. Oh! That was a close moment.
That's ruined the lap for Przybyłak as well. So the 77 there of Indra Yaska, the EST1 racing car, spinning right in front of Przybyłak there on a lap that could well have challenged for the front row of the grid, but he's had to completely bail out of it to avoid the spinning car in front of him.
He did. Very, very good reactions from Przybyłak now, and he'll come back to set the lap, but obviously he'll have to go again. And certainly with the time ticking, you're running out of chances to obviously enlist faster times. Pedro Moreiros now 8th fastest. Of course, he will suffer that 5-place grid drop later on. David Perrell also improving as well. And have a look at that first sector. It's looking competitive. Not the fastest, as now we're seeing the 77 turn around. That's the EST1. This is the replay of the moment as well.
So we heard the tyre squeal and assumed it must have been the car in front. Didn't think it was going to loop round right in front of Przybyłak
very close
like that. Now here we can see the full incident. And I mean, that looks like a pretty classic Porsche spin, doesn't it? But of course, the rear-engined car means all the weight is out the back end, and the rear is quite often tail happy. But David Perrell here looks to be on a very good lap in the number 111 Kessel Racing Ferrari. He's up on a time that would beat Fabio Babini provisionally, and of course fighting in the same class as well. Here is the 488 challenge, and we've been talking a lot about how the Ferraris have been on par with the Porsches in terms of pace, despite this being their first outing in the championship.
Oh,
and he does go
that.
fastest by over half a second. So Babini, we thought, was the benchmark time, but with 7 minutes to go, David Perrell has absolutely thrown his hat into the ring for Kessel Racing.
Yeah, Jorge Cabezas as well improving, but what a time by David Perrell as well. Professional racing driver for generally Ferrari customer team, GT teams, and has competed in the European Le Mans and the Le Mans Series, and here back again, this time in the International GT Cup Open, obviously now. And certainly looking very dialed in at this point. First place now ahead of Babini, who's now in second. And just look at the deficit over nearly enough 4.5 tenths, which is absolutely incredible. Jorge Cabezas, though, could yet turn up the heat here as well. He's 3rd fastest right now, but showing improvements in the 1st and 2nd sector. Of course, we'll need everything he can to usurp that of Babini and David Perrell as the laps start heating up, as the track heats up at this moment in time. I can tell you this now, that Babini has actually gone fastest of all in the 1st sector, so hold on to your hats, folks. We're going to be in for a crescendo here at Portimao, as now Babini makes his way in towards the 2nd sector, and he's 2 tenths up in that 1st sector.
Yeah, so he's a 10th up on the that David Perrell is on at the moment. He's going to lower the benchmark if he can keep it all together in the third sector here. But Babini looking to usurp Perrell from the top of the times. So just a fraction quicker in the first sector, as we mentioned, just by 0.03 of a second. And that was a huge chunk of the curve. May well have been all four wheels off the track, actually, for David Perrell there. So I wonder if Race Control is going to take a look at that. And it was a big swapper, and he doesn't improve in the end. And Babini has matched the middle sector as well, just about. He's still up on a time he needs to take provisional pole position, but it's Porsche v Ferrari at the front of the GT Cup Open in the second qualifying session here, and Cabezas putting in a very quick first sector as well. But with 5 minutes to go in this session, everybody's starting to find their feet and to put their times together. Fabio Babini going to come across the line now in the number 78 ZRS Motorsport car and just misses out. He's reduced the deficit, still a 1/10.5 or so, but it is still only the front row of the grid for Babini.
Yeah, very good first sector already set in place by David Perrell again. Only mere fractions slower than that of Babini's purple sector on that last run. Jorge Cabezas also on a fast run as well, and also in the mix of perhaps putting his Ferrari up into the top-end question proceedings as well. Cabezas, a formidable contender in this championship, could certainly deliver as well, and getting closer and closer all the time as the Ferrari now poleaxes its way through the final corner. The gap corner now beckons, and now the long straight beckons as well. Babini already second fastest, Cabezas just behind him, coming across the line. Is it an improvement for Cabezas? No, not enough to go ahead of P3. Holds onto his position right now, within 3.5 of a second of Perrell's top time, with Babini splitting the difference as Babini goes fastest by 0.06 in the first sector.
Yeah, so he's not done yet. He wants that pole position, doesn't he? And we've seen a great little scrap here between David Perrell and Fabio Babini for the pole position. And right now it's Babini. Boy, he's lost a chunk in the middle sector, though. He's had an issue. He's had traffic. He's had some sort of problem there, a mistake maybe. Hopefully we get a replay of it. But this is certainly not going to be a lap. And once again, the number 21 R01 Racing Porsche of Camille Perrell goes for a spin, and it looks like it's turn 3 again.
It is, just heading around, just losing the rear still. Very consistent image, I think, obviously, from what we saw last time, just losing that rear end in the Porsche.
Well, what I was saying about a classic Porsche spin, it's even easier to do in one of the older cars, and he's done that twice, so fair play. Fair play, it is very easy to do. Yeah,
the car number 80 now of Jorge Cabezas is going to have to go again, and as you can see, under the flat conditions, he's had to slow down and obviously a wait to go again. He does have time, though, to set another lap. We've got 2 minutes and 40 to go as we're seeing it on screen, but essentially this could potentially present one chance for him to set a final run. We will wait and see, though. There is a chance that he could enlist more than one. We'll have to sit tight. No, I don't think he will, actually, based on the evidence I'm looking at here. So it's all or nothing now for Jorge Cabezas. One final last chance to dance here in the Q2 of the GT Cup Open. And he'll make his way down the straight now. In fact, he's deciding against it, straight into the pit lane, and he will remain in third fastest, and no better than that for now.
So Babini still in the pits as well, Cabezas in the pits as well, and it looks like it's going to be a very quiet end to this qualifying session, unless Babini goes out now. Literally this second, it doesn't look like he's going.
And he needs to send it on a fast lap at this point as well. 1 minute and 50. We're broke into within that now. Of course, the fastest time set is a 1:45. One car that is out and about, though, is the car that fought for the win yesterday until it all went wrong. It's Evgeny Leonov, who now makes his way down through towards the next step. Back out on track, starting, should it stay the way it is, in 5th place. Obviously won't be content with that, would probably want something a little higher, and he wouldn't write him off either. Was very, very pacey yesterday. Of course, this time currently not necessarily representative of the time that you would expect to see at the top end, but still, if he crosses the line now, he will have one more chance at it.
He will, just about. It's whether he's got enough life left in those tyres. Really, he's the only, well, he's the highest contender that's still on the track, top 4 all in the pit lane, and have decided that's enough for today. And so really for Leonov, the question is, can he get himself on the second row of the grid looks like the front row might be just out of reach. But here he goes now, and it'll be his last flying lap. So that wasn't a push lap he was on just now. But yeah, I mean, it's 1 second between third and fourth place at the moment. So top three seems a little out of reach. Can he put himself on the outside of the second row, though?
We'll have to find out now. Coming through the first sector, turns 1, 2, and now 3 as well, as he heads through Lagos corner. And then you'll take the trip up through towards Tora Vip as well. Very, very tough section. Of course, now we've seen a couple of cars go off into the gravel trap heading down through here. Of course, he's got the downward swoop. Over the crest he comes, and then down the hill as he comes through this very tight hairpin of Tora Vip. And pins it tight to the inside, back onto the throttle, absorbing all the curb. Instantly, that rotation coming into play as well in the Porsche as he now primes his way up through towards Samson. Of course, now in the middle sector, and the time of the first sector looking pretty strong as well. 33.2, approximately 2 to 2 and a bit tenths off the pace you would probably expect to see. The checkered flag now being waved across the circuit now. So this is Leonov's last chance, and you can see that he has gained an improvement and only just over a tenth off the pace of David Perrell in that first sector. Now making his way, losing a second in that middle sector, so he's cost himself a little bit of time, a little bit of traffic as well out and about. That's not going to help. My guess is that fifth fastest is the best that he's going to set, but congratulations to David Perrell, you're starting on top.
Absolutely. So let's see what this last lap is going to be for Leonov. There might still be a chance he can sneak it onto the second row of the grid. Not if he's running wide like that, though. That may well invalidate this lap, and all that hard work that he's done in the 13 corners prior is undone. And he's done it again at the final corner as well. So really just kind of throwing everything at it at this point, and it's not an improvement in the end. So it remains fifth for Leonov. And it is David Perrell who will start on pole position. It's back-to-back pole positions for the Ferrari 488 Challenge on its debut in the championship.
Yeah, fantastic result for David Perrell. And he's going to come in and celebrate and no doubt enjoy that pole position. Of course, there's been electrifying racing yesterday. He made a couple of vibrant overtakes towards the end when he took the place of Dr. Stephen Earle after his opening stint. And now they can celebrate here at Portimao with a pole position here in the first round of the GT Cup Open. Had time to speak to him yesterday. Very excited to be here in the GT Cup Open as well. And the prancing horse on top here at the Algarve. The perfect place to be if you want to challenge for big points, and he'll have that on his mind. Here is the confirmed results here, folks. We got David Perrell starting on pole. Alongside him, Fabio Babini in second, Jorge Cabezas in third, Xander Prisbilak as well in fourth, with Evgeny Leonov in fifth, Fidel Castillo in sixth, with Pedro Moreiros in seventh, Alexandra Bochez in eighth, with Stefano Zanini in ninth, Stefano Borghi finishing in 10th, with Glauco Solieri in 11th, Indrek Yaska in 12th, Kamil Perry in 13th, Stefano Zerbi in 14th, Jayan Faisal Karim in 15th, with Mello in 16th, Stefano Bozzoni in 17th. Interview now with David Perrell.
David Perrell, a nice way to start the season with pole position for race 2 here at Portimao.
Yeah, very happy. The car is really fun to drive, actually, even though it's not the GT3. The challenge has been fun to learn. You can actually feel it quite a lot more than the GT3s because it moves around a bit, so you can manipulate it more. And on a qualifying lap, that makes it quite enjoyable.
Especially here at Portimao.
Portimao is top 3 racetrack for me. I absolutely love coming here. Just everything about it, even the way that they've designed the curbs, for example, it's smart compared to the rest of the tracks we go to.
And you are enjoying the experience, I guess.
Yeah, racing with Kessel, racing with the Doc, it's always the best thing, honestly.
Here is the Doc. How are you?
I'm so happy for this young man. He did an excellent job, but we expect it from him because he's so fast.
Yeah. Well done, guys. All the best for later.
Thank you.
Well, what a team. It's Cabezas who will start in third place, but it's Perrell and Earle on pole position, and we'll see how they get on when we go racing later on in the GT Cup Open. Do join us. It's Cabezas in third. We got Babini starting as well in second. What a fantastic result for them as well. David Perrell, though, no one could stop him up at the top end. Kessel Racing Ferrari right at the top, and we'll see whether they can deliver the big results when the Scuderia Ferrari sends it towards 2 and 1. Join us later on for when we go racing here in race 2 of round 1. See you then.